Hello guys, we are back. Today we have a new patch. I'm going to be teaching you how to play Galakrond with some new minions. We have the tribe Naga, some crazy things going on, and especially some other new units, the Mantid Queen, Leroy the Reckless, which I will be using very effectively this game. So let's get right into it. The early game for Galakrond. You're going to be looking for a token on turn 1. If you have something like the Alley Cat's Elemental, you can buy it, sell it, and then hero power while freezing that 2-drop. Now here I do not have a token, so I'm just going to buy the strongest minion. I'm not going to freeze anything either because those are not worth freezing. If you do not find a token like me, very important, you actually don't stay level 1. It's important to just straight up level up next turn. The reason why is because if you buy a token or buy a minion and level up on turn 2, you're finding a turn 2 minion and then you're going to wait next turn to find a turn 3 minion. By leveling up next turn, I'm going to be able to find a tier 2 minion to buy and another tier 2 minion to use my hero power to level up to tier 3. This is going to be that minion that you're going to want to hero power and freeze every turn so that it becomes either a 5-drop or a 6-drop that you will use to give you direction to hopefully win the game. Now as you can see here, I'm going to have a full board of tier 2 minions. I can choose which ones I want to use, which one I don't want to level up. So here I have multiple options. I end up choosing the Yoho Ogre for the most stats, and then I'm going to freeze that tier 3 minion to continue leveling up each turn after.
You're doing great out there.
So here, as I said earlier, you're going to want to hero power the same unit over and over again. So here I go ahead and I was gonna level that guy up first, but I decided to buy my 2 units first before hero power. I had to sell one of my units in order to get that 1 last gold for the hero power. Tier 1 to 4-star, you're almost never going to be buying any of those units. You want to be buying the heavier hitters at the 5 and 6 stars.
You're doing great out there.
Now that we're at tier 5, I'm looking for any strong minions that I'm going to want to buy. I could consider Brand, but especially in this patch with Naga out, with no battle cries available, I'm going to skip right past that. I'm just going to buy 2 more units to be as strong as I can, and then hope to see what I can find on tier 6. Since we just saw Leroy the Reckless in our Discover, now might be a good time to talk about him. So, Leroy is the replacement for the 1/1 Deadly Spore. The reason why they replaced it is because they thought Spore was too powerful, being able to get Divine Shield or tons of health from the Trickster, so they thought that it would trade for way too many units. So instead, they came up with Leroy the Reckless, which means he must die in order to kill that minion. Now this, although it seems like a nerf at first, is so powerful in this current meta with Nagas. Nagas have a ton of Divine Shields, and even if the Divine Shield gets popped by killing Leroy, Leroy still kills that minion, making him extremely powerful. We'll talk about the Mantid Queen later. Right now, let's take a look at our 6-drop. So we got the new 6-drop for our Naga, Tide Caller Athesa. For every spell you cast, you give 4 Naga +1/+1. You can see that this seems pretty powerful. Just need a couple of Nagas, a couple of spell bursts, and you can get the engine running. So in case you don't know about the Naga yet, they're a tribe that relies on spells. If a minion has spellcraft, that means that the minion will give you a spell every single turn with a specific effect that's written on the card. That spell only lasts for that turn or that combat, so you want to use it every single round. It's good because a lot of these Nagas, they synergize with these spells. The more you cast, the more you get buffs, sometimes permanent, sometimes temporary. So after finding direction with Athesa, I'm going to be looking for all the Nagas I can. I found an Eelbound Archer giving +8 attack for that turn only. I'm going to be able to use that spell every single turn, so Very powerful. I'm going to pick that up. Here, I'm probably just going to find any Naga that will help me generate some spells, and that's how I'm going to start getting this engine running. So here, I have to sell one minion in order to find another Naga. That one is Avenge 3. It's going to give me a spellcraft, or give me a spell on a card. So I do decide to pick that up.
Have a good battle, friend.
I'm doing really well here, so I'm gonna go ahead and level up and try to find something bigger. So I find any Naga I can, found that event Tide Brute, and I'm just gonna go ahead and have a 7-man board and keep fighting strong.
You're doing great out there.
Now that I'm at tier 4, I can use my hero power to find some really strong tier 5s like Critter Wrangler, Corrupted Myrmidon, or Glow Scale. They're all extremely powerful Naga that can help me synergize with my Athiza and help me scale. Here, I am gonna try to find the 5-drop, and unfortunately, I don't find any of them. I end up finding Leroy the Reckless. I pick up Leroy here because, as I mentioned earlier, he's a really strong standalone unit. I can hold him till the end game if needed. I do want to find some scaling units because if I can't, I will need to transition into some sort of scam comp. Now, I am lucky here and I do end up finding a triple. I'm going to freeze for it, see if I can find any other 6-drops which can help me scale.
You're doing great out there.
I'm going to level up here along with my triples so that I can see what new 6-drop I can find. It also gives me access to 6-drops with my hero power. Here, I find the Mantid Queen. As I mentioned earlier, it's a really powerful card. It's supposed to replace Amalgadon. The reason why it's a little more balanced is because it doesn't get to keep all its adapts. So it can find Wind Fury, some stats, Divine Shield, Taunt. However, you need to have a menagerie group of units in order to get those various buffs. Without it, it's just a standalone poison card. I actually like it a lot because Amalgadon, as we know, much too overpowered. It makes it a more niche card that you have to play a certain way in order to get its effects. As I see here, I am starting to shift into more of a scam comp. Without building my units up fast enough, I am going to need to find some sort of menagerie to make sure that I make the most out of my Mantid Queen. So I don't find anything with my hero power, but I did find a Siphon, which is going to be really powerful when I'm considering to do my scam comp. It also offers me another tribe for my Mantid Queen. I actually think that Defender of Argus is very powerful for Leroy Jenkins and Mantid Queen. I think you should taunt both of them in a lot of cases. The reason why is because for Mantid Queen, it gives it the taunt, which means it can no longer adapt to find taunt. So it's one less option, which increases the odds of you finding Divine Shield. It also makes you require less tribes for your Mantid Queen. Buffing the Leroy Jenkins is also extremely good because most of the time, people like to start off with giant Divine Shield minions. Well, if you taunt it and they attack into your Leroy Jenkins, it still kills that minion. Those taunts are also very important in helping me proc my SI Fin, which will help me later on with my scam comp.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
I do end up finding that Critter Wrangler like I was talking about before, but thinking back on it now, probably not worth the buy. It's already approaching the end game. I already have a pretty good scam comp setting up. These other bigger minions, not really going to be able to get them much larger in time. So I end up just using my hero power on it to see what I could find. Find that new 6-drop which discovers a Naga every single turn, which is pretty powerful. I end up finding the glow scale, which is very good, especially with my comp. Gives a divine shield every single turn. You can choose who you want to play it on. I do start off by using that buff on my Lava Lurker because Lava Lurker is able to keep the first spell that you place on it, makes it permanent. So giving a 52 attack minion permanent, divine shield, very good. Afterwards though, I'm definitely going to put it on my poisons, which will probably be my SI Fin. Time is beginning to run out here, and I do end up making the last minute decision to sell my Athesa, I know, the powerful 6-drop, to buy a small little 2/3 Murloc. I'm fully transitioning to scam now. I want to proc another poison minion, and so I know I wasn't scaling fast enough, and that is why I made that decision. You can see here, I end up using the Reckless to kill the Divine Shield Foe Reaper even before it was able to attack. So really powerful. So now that I've transitioned into full scam comp, I'm going to be looking out for more Leroys. I'm going to be looking out for more Manted Queens. One special unit that has returned is the Amalgam. I do want to be looking out for the Amalgam, especially in this lobby, because my SI Fin can give it poison, and I can give it a Annoyal module to give it a Divine Shield poison, making it basically a baby Amalgadon. I do find another SI Fin. I don't need it anymore, so I'm just going to skip past it. I know I found an Annoyal module, but I'm not going to buy that before I buy the Amalgam, especially since I would have to sell another unit on my board in order to play that Annoyal module. So I end up last minute selling my glow scale in order to play a couple cards. In hindsight, probably not the best decision. I do want to keep giving my minions Divine Shield until maybe the last few fights. Now here, found another Annoyal module, but again, not going to pick it up until I find the Amalgam. I'm primarily looking out for another Leroy Jenkins, I'm looking out for another Manted Queen, anything that will help me scam my enemies because I don't really have a strong board.
It's good to get some minions.
I pick up Selfless just in case because I need to end with a unit, and I do end up getting really lucky finding an Amalgam along with the Naga module. So here, I'm going to go ahead and pick up both of them, but I'm not going to sell and play the Naga module on the Amalgam just yet, because if I do, it has a very high chance that the Amalgam is going to be sniped because it has taunt. I'm going to wait till it has poison, and then the following turn I will be able to play the Naga module. Amalgam's also very good because it adds for another tribe for the Manted Queen, so having that unit is a big increase in strength for my scam comp. There's 3 people left. I get to fight the ghost, so I'm gonna level up and keep looking. Again, now that I have Amalgam, I'm pretty much just looking for a Manted Queen, looking for another Leroy. Get lucky and I find the other Manted Queen. I do need to sell a minion, so I end up selling that small little poison so that I can Annoyal module my Amalgam, and then I'm also going to pick up that Manted Queen. Basically, I'm full scam comp now. I also end up picking up the Prester Pyro Spawn because the Amalgam is all tribes, so it can actually break Divine Shields too with the Prester. It's gonna be a good little tech option just for this turn for the Ghost in case I want to play anything else. Now that we're approaching the end game, the final opponent to face, we're going to be looking for any other minions to complete our scam comp. So I end up picking up some Selflesses because they're a good substitute if I can't find any other units. I already have a second Mantic Queen, so basically last few things we're looking for are things like Leroy and Glow Scale. Glow Scale is basically a better version of Selfless because you can choose who to put that Divine Shield on. It does get countered by Ghoul, but it's going to be a very powerful card. I end up finding that Glow Scale, so I do choose to sell my Selflesses in order to pick up the Glow Scale. I do still have the Prester there because with my Amalgam up front, it will allow me to trade into a Divine Shield, which is basically counting as an extra unit. So I will see how this fight goes, and if necessary, I might sell that last Prestor for another.
Everyone's gunning for you. Watch out.
So you can see here that he had 2 Divine Shield taunts. If I hit one of them, I would have had a very favorable trade, which would have at least allowed me to tie this game. Fortunately, I got really unlucky and I missed. Got the 33%, which caused me to lose. This guy has a lot of Divine Shields, a lot of Divine Shield taunts. I am going to need to find another Leroy. That's going to be one of my outs. So as you can see, during endgame, Mantic Queen, Leroy Jenkins, they are extremely powerful. Anytime you face down to the last 2 players, you will guarantee to see at least 1 or 2 of these Leroy Jenkins, at least 1 or 2 of these Mantic Queens. They're just that good, especially in this meta when everyone's trying to get huge Nagas, trading for 1-for-1 or sometimes more. Extremely good. I do end up finding another Leroy. I do decide, you know what, screw that Prester. I don't want to try looking for that 1 in 3 chance again. I'm just going to put down that Leroy Jenkins. And so I will sell it here, pick up that Archer for just a few more buffs for my other Divine Shield that does not have poison. Let's get going with this next fight. So he has tons of poisons with Divine Shield. I have probably not as many. Looks like not too good for me. Getting the win again, but not killing. I have 1 health. I think I got lucky there. I really saw, like, because he has that Prestor, because he has a bunch of Divine Shields, it's going to be difficult for me to pull out this win. So I'm scrambling around for quite a while. Don't know what to look for. I do end up finding a Glow Scale, which is super good. If I can put it on a Murloc, it could definitely change the fight. After finding the Glow Scale, and that will help me with another of my poison units, I end up finding a Mechano Tank. Mechano's a very interesting tech choice. I saw that this guy had a bunch of Divine Shields that were not necessarily on taunt, so I thought maybe if some of my taunt minions died, it would pop these Divine Shields and hopefully win me that fight. I do need to sell one of my minions to put on that Glow Scale. I'm going to put it on my 2-8 without taunt because I know he has a Prestor that can pop Divine Shield taunts. And I'm going to go ahead and last minute purchase the Mechano Tank. So let's see how this fight goes. Unfortunately, I do not have the deck tracker to see my percentage. I personally feel like I got a little lucky. I do end up using the Mechano Tank to pop 2 Divine Shields, which seems like it was the right tech choice. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye-bye!